Hello, everyone. So good to be back in Mumbai, and so good to see the turnout despite all the rains havoc earlier this week. That was the biggest fear we all had on how the weather gods are going to be in the days to come. But thank you for turning up. Excited to be back in the town, talking about some of our latest product launches in the last couple of months and what's in store in the next couple of months as well. Without further ado, we'll just get quickly started. We continue to grow at a very rapid pace, especially in markets like India, which has been our home ground. We've been fortunate to be working with so many of the nicest brands. Some of you are in the room. A lot of new additions to the portfolio in the last 1 year. Some of the largest insurance, banks, a lot of enterprises that you can see getting added to the portfolio overall in the last 1 year. Blessed to be working with such an amazing portfolio of companies, a lot of digital companies which are going public as well as are also part of the portfolio. So great to see the additions overall. So today, 750, 800 plus employees continue to grow globally across 15 plus offices, with India being at the center and the heart of everything we do. Thank you for your continued trust and the support that we've enjoyed over the years. And for us, I think the biggest thing that gives us pride is the love that we get from our customers. Year on year, we continue to be named a customer favorite, a voice of customer reports from Gartner, Forrester. We are blessed to be named as a customer favorite. This goes on to show the amount of success that we've been able to deliver for all of our customers and the continued partnership that we've been able to enjoy with all of our customers, right? And we're also proud to be rated the highest amongst all the modern MarTech stacks out there. You see us right up there across the entire spectrum of customer engagement platforms today. MoEngage is proud to be rated the highest, just behind the legacy clouds that you see at the top right over there. Moving on, I'm excited to talk to you about the evolution of our overall product in itself. I think over the last few years, when we think about the entire customer experience, right? Today's customers are increasingly omni-channel. We have customers, shopping in an offline store, but researching online. Researching in an offline store, but buying online. A lot of cross-pollination keeps happening. A lot of crosswalk keeps happening. And what's super, super critical to be able to deliver a consistent customer experience across all of the channels, irrespective of where your users are. How do we deliver a super consistent experience? And how do we really delight customers across channels, right? When we start to think about this, I think two fundamental aspects come to my mind, right? One is the data part of it, which all of us love talking about. For the last 10, 15 years, we've been talking about this entire omni-channel customer data and how do we stitch this together. And we still continue to talk about it. The forms keep evolving, the data sets keep evolving, but the fundamental tenet of data being the most critical part of our entire customer engagement strategy continues to remain the same. The second part is also around understanding the context of the users itself, right? In an increasingly omni-channel world, just understanding the context of where the user is coming from, what have they been doing in the past, and just leveraging all of that data and information to be able to deliver a truly delightful experiences is never been more pertinent, right? And in an increasingly AI-first world, you've got to truly make it feel very, very personal, right? And when we think about what's been stopping this, right? And when you think about the first wave of evolution of data platforms at a high level, so this is how the world looked like from 2010 to 2020 in a way, right? A lot of our customers, a lot of our brands that we work with invested in what's traditionally called a CDEP. And there was a ton of tools that you see on the right, which was essentially like a bunch of point tools which are being used for being email marketing, SMS marketing, mobile marketing, or whatever else, right? Like paid marketing and all of that. essentially, if you think about it, the data was completely sitting in silos. And two, there were a lot of point solutions that were being leveraged by majority of the brands that we work with. And more often than not, what also increasingly started happening is this so-called CDP, which is supposed to be powering a lot of different use cases across marketing, service, support, and sales, have just become essentially like data pipes to just the marketing platforms, right? When we spoke to a lot of customers in India, what are you truly using a CDP for? They're like, oh, we send data to MoEngage, right? Do you really need a CDP to send data to MoEngage? I mean, this is so inherent to any customer engagement platform. We were scratching our heads on, have these CDPs truly evolved to solve for the true enterprise needs, right? And when we looked at it, not really, right? There was a lot of data duplication also happening, because there's copies of data in what you call a data warehouse or internal data lakes or what have you. There were copies of data in the customer engagement platforms, which you see on the right. And then there was a so-called CDP sitting somewhere in the center, also having a copy of the data, right? And every customer engagement channel needed its own set of data points to be able to engage. That was one big challenge. The second thing that was also happening is just the sheer operational inefficiency. Because trust me, even in 2025, no two tools really give you the same data set. However deeply integrated they are, the data sets fundamentally remain slightly different, which basically means that a lot of times, us as CRM people in the room and growth people in the room, we're just trying to answer questions around, tool A is giving me one data set, tool B is giving me the second data set. The two never marry. And some CXO sitting at the top asks the question like, why are these two data sets completely different? Why are the numbers not tallying? And I'm sure quite a few people in the room, share this emotion. I see quite a few smiles, so that's clearly resonating quite a bit. And lastly, just having all of this multiple copies of data, right, basically means that your time to market is much higher, right? To do a simple use case, you're moving data from 2-3 different platforms into the final engagement platform at the end of the day, right? Which I feel in today's day and age is truly inefficient, right? And to solve for that, essentially what we are looking to move towards is there a scenario where we can truly stitch this data from whichever channel the users are, and wherever you're storing this data, is there a way we can easily unify it and activate it at scale and truly run engagement campaigns at scale? And that's the shift that we see happening, right? Moving away from this siloed data collection and just piping data into one single marketing platforms to a more holistic, integrated approach, right? And I'm proud to share with you, we are essentially enhancing our overall customer engagement platform to be more of a customer data and engagement platform, and bringing to you a CDEP of sorts, which truly unifies everything that I just spoke about. What does this truly look like? Essentially, if you look at the bottom left, I'm not sure how much of this is visible. So this is where we actually started 11 years back. We were just capturing data from a web and an app SDK, right? And that's about the data set that we were capturing. But as things evolved, today we truly have a completely omni-channel data collection capabilities, along with a lot of partner integrations that we've been able to build out over the course of the last few years, which enables us to capture data from any data source that you can think of, right? We are bringing in all of this data together onto MoEngage, and over a period of time, we also launched the ability to leave the data in your warehouse and still be able to run the entire marketing automation just the way you were doing it for all these years. So we brought all of this data together. The next part that we are starting to do is how can we unify all communications in one single platform? So today, 70% of our India customers use at least 4 channels with us, right? So they started with mostly push in-app and maybe an email, and a lot of them have expanded to WhatsApp and other channels, and slowly we're starting to see our customers adopting channels like RCS, connected channels like paid media retargeting, Facebook, Google, and a lot of that coming into the picture. So if you look at the mid-top there, we now support 14, 15 plus channels natively on the MoEngage platform. The other big change that we've done is in order to be able to deliver a truly unified experience, it's not just enough to personalize your outbound communications, right? A lot of consumers actually come to your websites, come to your digital properties. They're on your app, they're on your website, right? And there's never a better time than that to actually truly personalize that entire experience. So a lot of our customers today have also started leveraging our entire personalization stack, which helps you personalize the entire native experience on the website, on the apps, all of it, and just have one consistent messaging across your email, web, app, all of the channels that you can think of. And lastly, truly forward-looking brands are also unifying marketing messaging with service messaging, right? This, again, was completely sitting in silos for most of our customers. Service messaging and transactional messaging was always being run in-house. And today, companies like Tata Digital, Tata Neu essentially have completely unified this and made one single platform. So as a customer, whichever channel you're talking to them on, be it a OTP message, be it like an order confirmation message, order delivery message, all of that can now be triggered truly from MoEngage itself. And the interaction points from all of these transactional messages can also be stitched back to the user profiles itself. So when we say a 360-degree customer profile, we truly mean it. It's not just marketing messages. Any communication that's happening to your end customer, we're able to stitch this together back in MoEngage now. And of course, none of this can happen without all the amazing analytics that we power. So we do a lot of customer journey analytics and a very deep product analytics as well, which we'll be talking about later. And under, pinning all of these customer engagement channels is our AI and ML layer, which we'll be talking about in the second half of the chat today. Using all of this, essentially, we are truly building one single unified profile of the customer and unifying all of the messaging, analytics, everything in one single platform. So essentially, if you think about it, anything to do with your customer engagement, we're able to solve for it in one holistic integrated platform. These are not 5 different products. This is one unified platform doing everything at one single place. And that's the MoEngage of 2025 for you. What makes it truly valuable, right? Let's quickly look at what's in it for you. Firstly, I think for me, the fundamental piece comes down to better total cost of ownership. I mean, this is my favorite topic. I think for the last 12 months, CFOs are best friends for all the salespeople. Every company has budget challenges and questions being asked from the CFOs on why are you spending so much money on all the different tools that you use? Don't worry about it. We've got a solution for you now. If you're spending money on multiple tools like CDP, CEPs, or transactional messaging, promotional messaging, outbound messaging, inbound messaging, you know the answer now. It's got one integrated solution, one cost to pay, one throat to choke. Second, we believe that the future is going to be warehouse native, and to that extent, a lot of the things that we are doing are fundamentally native to data warehouses and data lakes. We'll be talking about that in a minute from now. It's truly a single source of truth, enabling a lot of real-time personalization capabilities, both on your outbound and inbound communication channels. Last but not the least, if you have one platform where you're stitching all of this data together, it forms the perfect foundation for any sort of AI models to be brought in and deliver advanced personalization capabilities and advanced learning on top of the AI models that we can deploy. And last but not the least, MoEngage has always been known for its scale and reliability, and that's what we truly commit with this platform as well. It's a highly flexible, continues to be very scalable and a very reliable platform. You've seen our reliability over the years, and that continues to be the case even now. Just talking about a quick customer story where we've basically done something very similar when it comes to the entire CDEP part of it, which is, I just briefly spoke about Tata Digital and Tata Neu. Essentially, if you look at the bottom, there were like 5, 6 different platforms that were being leveraged, right? And on the top, there's a lot of different data sets that were individually talking to all of these different platforms, right? So there was a lot of duplication of data, a lot of any lack of actionable insights because of this entire disparity in the data stack, right? What was also happening is because of this entire complexity, overall go-to-market was being slowed down. And today, with MoEngage, they've been able to unify all of this on one single platform, like I said, able to leverage all of this customer data from 20 different brands of theirs, stitch this in real time on MoEngage itself, transform this data and activate and act on it in a matter of couple of minutes. So it's been truly transformational for Tata Neu to be able to bring together so many sub-brands, so many categories, everything at one place, and also bring together the entire transactional messaging on one single platform. So today, if you shop at Chroma, even a transactional message that gets triggered is being powered by MoEngage in the backend. What does this, the entire warehouse native concept truly mean, right? So for the longest time, if you think about any platform like ours, not just MoEngage, right? The first thing that any customer engagement platform, any CRM platform asks for is, hey, send us data, and then we'll help you segment, right? Increasingly, as brands become privacy conscious and be a lot more focused on user privacy, and as regulations evolve, there's a lot of questions coming around, can we keep the data in our own warehouse, and can you guys still work on top of it, right? Be it for privacy reasons, regulations, security, whatever else it is, right? A lot of brands were also talking to us and saying that, hey, we don't want to give you the entire transactional data set of last 15 years. That's just so much data that we really don't want to pump it to you, right? So we are excited to bring to you a truly innovative way of doing segmentation as we move forward, where we can not just query on MoEngage data, but we can seamlessly query on your data warehouse as well, right? So going forward, when you build segments on MoEngage, you can basically query on our warehouse or our own data set, and at the same time combine it with, let's say, your own Snowflake instance or a Databricks instance, right? So if you look at this query, there's part of the queries that are running on MoEngage, and there's a part of query that's running on Snowflake, and the end result of number of users qualifying or people available for a campaign is available to you in under a minute, irrespective of where the data querying is happening from, right? This truly helps with activating a lot of your transactional data, a lot of your secure data, and this is the way forward as we think about the so-called zero-copy data architecture as well. And the future is already here with this innovation that we've been able to do. And today, we were already supporting Google BigQuery for this, and we're excited to launch the support for 3 more warehouses, Snowflake, Databricks, and Redshift. And with that, we believe we already cover majority of the data warehouses that a lot of you in the room are today leveraging. Next, this has been my favorite topic for the last, I don't know, like 5-7 years. A lot of times, customers have data sets which are completely disparate, right? Online, probably people capture mobile number or an email ID, right? Offline, most people don't get email IDs. At best, you get mobile numbers. You go to I don't know, like a Max Fashion store or a Lifestyle today, everybody takes your mobile number for sending you e-receipts and loyalty and all of that, right? But most platforms like ours always insisted on having one unique identifier for the longest time. That's no longer going to be the constraint for most of you. We are excited to launch something called Unified Identity. You can basically stitch together data sets with different identifiers into one unified identity on MoEngage. So let's say your store data is on mobile number, your online data is on email ID. You can truly have one unified profile on MoEngage, which goes something like, hey, this is the phone number, this is the email ID, and this is the loyalty ID of a customer. So thereby, essentially helping you with stitching together all of this fragmented data and make the customer data ready for personalization and campaign management overall. This also helps you with consistent cross-channel experience, and last but not the least, helps you with the overall privacy and compliance requests as well. And as we move along, we're excited to expand our partner marketplace. I spoke about how one of the biggest evolutions behind the launch of CDEP has also been the amount of data that we're able to stitch together now. Today, we already have 200+ technology partners live with integrations on MoEngage. We are building the platform in a way where any partner can actually leverage our APIs and can completely build an integration without ever talking to the MoEngage product team at all, right? We are completely publishing open APIs using which any, let's say, a WhatsApp provider or an RCS provider can just directly integrate with MoEngage without ever having to talk to us, right? Leveraging all of these open APIs, we're able to expand our partner integrations at scale and thereby, essentially truly become that platform at the center where you can completely stitch together everything. And at the same time, if you want to activate the data on any channel that you can think of, paid media, support, sales, workflow automations, anything at all, stitching together loyalty data, all of it, everything's now possible with native integrations that are now available in the app marketplace. Hopefully this has been exciting, but no product launch in 2025 is complete without talking about, of course, all of our favorite topic of the year, AI. So I saved the best for the last. And of course, along with AI, there's a few other interesting topics that we have for you. And to talk about all the fun stuff on the AI side of it, I'd like to now invite the man behind the entire vision and the execution that we've been able to do at pace, at speed in the last years and the years to come, Ravi, co-founder and CEO of MoEngage. Ravi.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well? Okay. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Firstly, I'm very excited to be here today with all of you. We started this whole growth summit like in about 2018, 2019 timeframe with the vision to kind of bring like marketing and product teams from across brands together and create a peer-to-peer learning community. And it's great to see that we have so many people coming every year at our growth summits in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and we have a lot of people who keep coming again and again. So that just shows the value that we are adding to the ecosystem, and that just keeps us kind of going with continued momentum on these events, and look forward to kind of hoping that you all have a great day over the course of today. I'm going to talk about a couple of key areas, like as Yash mentioned. Firstly, I just want to share that I think speed, simplicity, real-time, and cross-channel, these are like some of the 4 value drivers that we kind of focus on driving for our customers. Because we all live in the world where, I mean, we talk about, I think, we also even put in a brand campaign a week ago on Economic Times, where it talks about like how brands can actually kind of operate at the T20 speed. And I think the customer data and engagement platform that we unveiled enables brands to simplify the overall marketing technology stack, operate at rapid speed, enable that real-time engagement, and also enable the cross-channel piece. So we believe that we are ticking all the boxes with all the things that we are doing. And I'm also proud to kind of share that we are a made in India product, and we learn a lot from our customers working in India, and we have seen that our Indian customers are some of our kind of like, I would say, most aggressive in terms of innovation, and we learn a lot, we kind of evolve faster, and then we take the best of these products to globally. Today we are working with some of the global enterprise brands, and thanks to all the innovation that we have been doing it here. Talking to a couple of key areas which I feel is very, very relevant for our customers, starting with RCS. Many of you might be aware of the RCS as a channel, and most of you who have an Android phone, you might be seeing your rich messaging inbox with nice messages from, let's say, likes of SDFC and Swiggy and so on, where you're actually kind of seeing a brand identity and so on. So I'll talk about like what does RCS mean for those. But the problem statement that we have seen for a while is that SMS as a channel used to be, SMS as a channel, especially from marketing standpoint, was becoming irrelevant. And over the last couple of years, we have seen brands moving a lot of their marketing messaging from SMS to WhatsApp. And thanks to Google, we now have a channel which brings best of all the WhatsApp, best of everything that WhatsApp can offer to the actual messaging inbox. So RCS is a channel that is powered on the messaging inboxes on Android, and it is coming soon on iOS as well from the ATP standpoint. On the iOS, it's already supported to kind of have a peer-to-peer rich messaging, and from the application like brand to end user messaging for RCS support is coming soon. So what does really like RCS makes it very unique, right? So first, it is backed by Google with support from carriers. Every RCS message comes with a very clear, defined identity of your brand. And it clearly shows that it is coming from a trusted brand and not from some short code. And it is highly interactive, right? So RCS basically brings all best of WhatsApp with regards to templates. It brings all of your rich images, carousel formats. And the best part is that SMS, there used to be a lot of fraud and lot of challenges in terms of understanding how many messages were actually delivered and how many messages were read by your customers, right? So RCS solves that problem. You can actually kind of understand how many of your messages that you actually sent were delivered on the inbox and how many of those delivered were actually read by your customers, right? So that really helps you really understand your return on your spend with regards to your RCS investments. And it comes with all deep integrations with all the Android applications and so on. And one of the important things that I would also say is that it brings all the best of WhatsApp and at the same time much lower cost. I think from what I understand, it can be like almost half the cost of what WhatsApp marketing messaging can be, right? And then we are glad to bring support for RCS within MoEngage in a completely native format. Over the last year or so, we have seen customers kind of experimenting with RCS in MoEngage, and customers have seen significant return in terms of their spend when compared to even like various channels, and especially when compared to SMS. So they moved a lot of their SMS marketing traffic to RCS with SMS as a fallback. So but it was challenging to kind of use it. So we made it completely native. So in MoEngage, you can see all the native RCS templates, like whether it is a carousel format, rich image format, and so on, and with an automated SMS fallback. And you can clearly kind of manage all your creatives in a nice fashion. And the best part is RCS can be part of your overall omni-channel stack. I think as Yash mentioned, today we support over 14 channels natively within MoEngage. And today almost close to 1 billion messages are sent on WhatsApp via MoEngage on a weekly basis, and a significant number of messages being sent on SMS on a weekly basis. So the best part is when you're in MoEngage, when you're creating these omni-channel marketing workflows, you can take your customers from one stage of the life cycle to the other stage, leveraging all of these channel mix. And MoEngage automatically identifies what is the most optimal channel for every customer. If you don't want to kind of make that kind of the decisioning, you can let MoEngage decision which channel is the most optimal for every individual customer, whether it is a WhatsApp, RCS, email, push messaging, and so on, so that we are automatically decisioning and then kind of doing that. Or at the same time, you can also kind of try low-cost channels first and then kind of take a higher-cost channels as a fallback approach and so on, right? And we are going live today with all the major CPaaS providers like Infobip, Gupshup, and Carix. And there are all other major CPaaS providers are going to be supported as we speak. So you can get started today with RCS, and we definitely see customers seeing higher return on investment in terms of their investments on RCS. You can you can do an A/B testing between different channels like RCS and WhatsApp. So really look forward to seeing how our customers can experiment and see value. Coming to the next major piece with regards to leveraging artificial intelligence. So obviously this is my favorite topic, and it's top of the mind for everyone in the boardroom, everyone. And the best part today with AI is that everyone is using it daily, and everyone is easily seeing the value and the power of AI to make their life easier, and to be a lot more productive, right? And in fact, we at MoEngage are really pushing the usage of MoEngage within MoEngage for serving our customers. How can we kind of make our customer support faster? How can we make our product development faster to rapidly innovate? And at the same time, we are equally kind of, our CTO or head of product, myself, all of us are kind of like really kind of thinking hard about how we can reinvent the existing marketing workflows and also at the same time create new marketing workflows. And we started and we have been investing in AI since 2016, and we have a full stack AI capabilities under what we call it as Sherpa, which automatically kind of optimize the timing of the messaging, the content of the messaging, and channels and so on. But in the last 2 years, with the advent of generative AI, we first invested in the content generation use case. So 2 years ago, so we launched what we call it as Merlin AI Copywriter, and which basically enables brands and marketing teams to kind of create content faster and also create and do a lot more rapid experimentation. So the best part is that it is not only helping people, I would say in terms of productivity, but also it is also helping in terms of engagement rates and uplift in engagement. So for example, our customers, like here you can see Glance. I think Glance just also launched their Glance AI product just a day or two ago. So they are one of our customers who really kind of use our AI capabilities. So when they are doing push messaging with MoEngage, so today they generally get one creative from their creative team. And if they want to kind of create a lot more creatives and copies on marketing copies, it will put a lot more work for their content team and creative team. So that's where the copywriter helps you with, like, given a copy from your marketing team, you can create a lot more variants with different interesting themes. I mean, in fact, for India, if you have a copy from English, you can actually translate into various languages as well within Merlin AI Copywriter. So thereby, and you can let MoEngage automatically optimize which copy is driving higher conversions and engagement, right? So thereby, our customers are seeing not just kind of improvements in terms of productivity, but also in terms of impact. So even with a smaller team, you can actually kind of do a lot more in terms of your overall content and content creativity and innovation, right? And we're not stopping there. So today we are introducing 3 new powerful AI agents to enable our customers to kind of, like, with speed, like, bring your ideas to life quickly. So whenever you have a campaign objective, today, like many times we have seen that, okay, people like start their campaign ideation outside the platform and then come to MoEngage for campaign execution. So we want to kind of change that. How can we let you kind of like ideate within MoEngage and then push those ideas to life as quickly as possible? But what are AI agents? Like AI agents, I'm sure like you have been inundated with AI agents from every other software vendor. So broadly, I mean, our kind of perspective on AI agents is that, so they are nothing but intelligent autonomous systems that are acting on your behalf, they could be doing a task, they could be implementing a workflow, or they could even be doing a much more complex workflow or an autonomous task, while operating within the set guardrails that you actually kind of set for the AI agent, right? And we are kind of, today we'll talk about like 3 AI agents with varied level of complexity, from simple task to workflow to the fully autonomous agent. The first one is what we call it as Merlin AI Segment Assist. And you can see that we're attacking the most important parts of our marketing workflow. So like we started with content. Segmentation is one of the most important things that people use on MoEngage. Like a lot of marketers spend a good amount of time creating segments and audiences, and we wanted to kind of make it far more easier. I mean, we know that, I mean, MoEngage is very easy to use in terms of segment creation, but we also identified few areas that there's a lot of scope for improvement. So we know that, I mean, if you do segmentation very well, you can actually kind of obviously kind of be a lot more relevant in terms of your experience for your customers, and thereby improvement in conversion and engagement rates. But the challenges with the today segmentation is that, like, if you look at today, like many times your engineering team kind of defines all the profile attributes and events that you need to kind of segment on. But for marketers, like sometimes, especially when you have a new CRM manager, they might not know all the different attributes and events that the company has. And then there are new attributes and events that always keep coming. But for you need to create a new segment, you need to kind of know how to use all these attributes and events. You need to understand what each attribute means, what each event means, and so on. So that is the problem that we are trying to solve with Segment Assist, where Segment Assist enables marketers to kind of talk in natural language, and then it automatically kind of transforms that into kind of a automatic a segmentation query within MoEngage. It will also show how many customers are actually within the segmentation criteria, and then you can thereby immediately kind of action on it. So the idea is that it enables you to ideate, not just kind of like actually create, but also ideate. So how does it work? So let's take a use case here. So here we're talking about a customer, like let's say a financial services company, where a marketing manager in the financial services company can say that, okay, can you create a segment of customers who kind of started a credit card application in a specific card type, but did not complete the application. So they can just write it in plain text, and then it automatically transforms that to, hey, when the starting the credit card application is nothing but a BFSI credit card application started event, it automatically identified that, hey, what each of the language, I mean, what events to use, what event attributes to use, it converts into the segmentation query. And then once you have a segmentation query, you can actually move it to filter view if you want. And then, so thereby you can rapidly ideate with different, kind of like different, you can actually discover like, okay, hey, let me check, okay, how many customers are actually doing this? And then let me kind of double click further. And then thereby you are actually kind of like ideating and then double clicking on it to kind of get to the segmentation that you want to do. And so that's the Segment Assist, basically kind of, it's basically bringing your whole ChatGPT experience to within MoEngage, but understanding your data context, and thereby making your life easy. So ideate your action in just simple prompts. And we're also kind of plan to add support for voice. So instead of having to write the text, you can actually kind of talk to it, and then it kind of generates these segmentation queries and kind of helps you kind of do it rapidly. So the next important agent that we want to talk about is Merlin AI Flow Assist. Again, we are attacking the most important kind of product, which is workflows. So MoEngage workflows are used by most of our customers. They are very powerful. They drive the highest amount of engagement and conversion rates for our customers. MoEngage workflows enable you to use all the channels that we have, all the different customer behavior criteria and so on in a nice simple fashion. But considering that they are powerful, it can sometimes be cumbersome. And so sometimes like building these workflows require guidance, especially when you're kind of creating these workflows for the first time. So these workflows can be like your abandoned cart journey, or like a cross-sell journey. It could be like a reactivation journey, and so on. And many of these journeys are like can be created in so many different ways. And it could be created in so many different ways. I mean, if you give it to two different people within your brand, they actually can create in different fashion, right? And what we realize is that people need some sort of I would say like a marketing advisor, and probably sitting with them and helping and guide them. What if we can actually offer some sort of a marketing advisor who can guide any person who is creating these workflows to create the most optimal and effective workflows? It's just not about kind of reducing the time to create workflows, which is something that is definitely an important problem statement, but also how do we enable people create better workflows solving for their use cases, right? And that's where the MoEngage Flow Assist helps you. So you can start with kind of sharing your use case. So we're directly starting with what is the use case that you want to kind of solve for. Let's say if I want to kind of create a reactivation flow to drive repeat purchases from customers who made a purchase in the last 90 days or last 60 days. You can write that use case, and then the MoEngage Flow Assist will create an initial workflow. For example, here it created a workflow saying that, okay, people who actually kind of made a purchase, let me kind of break that down into kind of based on the propensity to purchase, like medium propensity, high propensity, and low propensity, and leveraging all the predictive capabilities of MoEngage. And once you do that, and once you have certain workflow, you can say that, hey, okay, you created a nice workflow. Let me actually kind of add a kind of a nurture journey for customers with medium propensity. And you can talk to AI, and then it will give a nice suggestion saying that, okay, here is what, do you want to kind of create, like, let's say, split the overall workflow, have like a different channels and certain time frame. So it will give you a suggestion here, and if you don't like something, hey, let's say the 24 hours time window is something that I'm not sure whether is the right time window, then it will kind of tell you that, hey, why don't we do an A/B test of it? Why don't we do an A/B test of like a 12-hour window and a 24-hour window? And then kind of, and once you say that, okay, that looks good, it automatically applies that to the workflow within the MoEngage flow canvas, right? So as you can see here, right, you can ideate, iterate, and improve your workflows. We are bringing down the skill set that is required to create these very optimal workflows overall. And that's where, and we are doing a lot more improvements here. Like you can, when you click on a new stage, now we will give suggestions to you on what should be the next stage at a given workflow point. So we are significantly reducing the time and also improving the way to ideate. So we talked about a task-based agent. We talked about a workflow-based agent. Now let's talk about what we call it as an autonomous agent. So where it actually does a lot of things behind the scenes. And here also we are taking like an important problem statement after speaking to various customers. To start with, so many of our customers like see a lot of high engagement when they have journeys based on behavioral triggered. So if a customer did an abandonment and you want to kind of like do kind of like nudges to that customer, you actually see very high engagement conversion rates. But if you look at a lot of messaging that brands do on a daily basis, so they're actually kind of segmenting customers based on different criteria and communicate those in a batch format. Hey, here is a segment of customers that I want to send today in 2 slots, like break it up into multiple segments, send multiple offerings that I want to communicate to those customers and communicate. And that's where we saw that there's a lot of scope for improvement in terms of the performance of these segmented campaigns in a batch approach. So if you look at today's workflow, so if you're an e-commerce company, you have these different offerings. It could be different categories of your products, different subcategories. And if you have your different customers, and people create manual segments based on different criteria. For example, the segment criteria could be, hey, customers who made a purchase in a given category and so on. So they create these manual segments, and then they kind of associate these different offerings to these different segments. The problem with this workflow is that today, the mapping of all of this basically kind of depends on the fact that, hey, will all the customers kind of prefer this specific offering or this specific product that I'm trying to communicate? Is email the best channel to communicate versus the push as a channel? And how do you know like which content copy works for a given customer, and so on, right? So you need to kind of, a lot of these kind of decisions today are manually done, whereas you can do A/B testing, but your A/B testing, typical A/B testing approach is majorly happening at a content level and not happening at an audience and so on. So this is the problem that we wanted to kind of solve. Like, why don't we can we move from a best average fit for a segment to finding the true one-to-one fit at an individual basis? And that's where AI can really help us kind of do that. And we are trying to kind of achieve that one-to-one experience for every customer given a specific goal. It could be could be like a reactivation or driving a cross-sell purchase, and so on. And with all these different factors that, and today, if you want to kind of do all of this kind of across copy, across all of these, it's just not humanly possible. And that's where AI decisioning helps you with. So you can define a goal, like it could be like a goal, your goal can be like driving a repeat purchase. You can give certain guardrails to it. So the guardrails could be like how many times a given offer can be presented to a given customer in a given week, for example. So it could be like channel related caps as well. So you can define all the guardrails, and then you can define your mix of like, okay, what are the different things that you want the decisioning agent to consider for this decisioning flow. So instead of a normal workflow, we are creating a decisioning workflow where you can say that, okay, you can try these 3 channels. These are all the different offerings that I have. that I want to offer to this segment of customers. And you can just give a bunch of content copies and then give a bunch of timing options. You don't decide the timing and frequency. Like you can say that, okay, I want to experiment with 2x 2 times a week, 1 time a week, and so on. Give all of these to the decisioning agent, and it will kind of automatically kind of identify that given a customer, based on a given customer's context, it will identify which channel to pick, which offering to pick, and which timing and frequency and all of this, and then it will communicate to the customer. And then it will take the feedback in terms of, okay, whether the customer is engaging with it or not, and that feedback signal kind of goes into the decisioning agent, which will improve the decisions that it will make for Emily and also customers like Emily in the future. So this decisioning agent operates for a few weeks to kind of drive that impact. So you as a customer can create like a control group or a holder group for the decisioning agent to understand the impact that the decisioning agent is creating against your control groups, right? And that is and that's how it can take a new customer and then kind of pick automatically all the different channel mix and the offering mix, which is relevant for each customer, and then communicate. And if there is a negative signal that, okay, customer is not engaging or unsubscribing, those signals also will go into the mix to kind of figure out what is the best offering that needs to communicate, or not even communicate to certain customers. For certain loyal customers, it might not even communicate anything to that customer because it just believes that you don't need to communicate. So, so as you can see, like we brought in Segment AI Assist, which is a product that is live in beta today. You can use it today. It is not slideware. It is actually live. And then we have Flow Assist. We talked about Flow Assist, decisioning agent, which are coming soon, which we're working very hard. Our decisioning agent will also be introduced in our MoEngage personalized product. So if you are your app, today you have your banners that you kind of show it to different customers. Today, many of these banners that you show on your app and website are static in nature. So you define that, okay, I want to show these banners to customers in a given city, but it doesn't go to a customer level. So MoEngage AI decisioning enables you to kind of like, okay, give different offerings to the decisioning agent. It automatically kind of identifies which customer should receive what banner, what promo card on your website and on your app at a one-to-one basis, and automatically optimizing towards higher conversions and engagement, whichever metric that you define. So we have the most comprehensive stack, AI stack in the industry today, and we are rapidly innovating. We're also kind of making many of these agents kind of accessible from your agentic platforms. If you're using a Copilot Studio or a Google Agent Space, we want to kind of make our agents available in those platforms as well, so that you can actually, we don't want to just limit ourselves to having everything only on the MoEngage dashboard. So yeah, I think with that, I kind of rushed through with the constraints of time, but with that, I hope I look forward to kind of having a great time over the course of the today.